Okay, it was confirmed yesterday that Ole Gunnar Solskjær was sacked at Manchester United after a 4-1 defeat at Watford. United had confirmed Solskjær's assistant Michael Carrick. He's going to be in place temporarily. He's going to take charge of the club. And he also revealed that their intention to appoint an interim manager until the end of the season, that's going to be coming up next. So another interim manager, which of course is what Ole was doing originally, wasn't it, before he got given the job permanently. But this one, I think, surprised a few people. Mixed emotions on this one. This is after he got sacked. He sat down with MUTV yesterday and gave an emotional goodbye.
I've said to them this morning as well, trust yourself. We're better than this. We've not been able to show it, but go out, chest out, enjoy being a Man United player. Champions League, the biggest stage. If and when you win the game, you're through to the next round. Michael's going to be in charge. I've got the utmost respect. I love Michael to bits. Becoming emotional now because he's top, and that's they'll be fine. I'll watch them and support them.
Okay, there we go. So that was just part of the interview that Ole Gunnar Solskjær gave yesterday to MUTV. I watched it and, as you could hear, it was very emotional. He said he wants to go out the front door. He doesn't want to do this quietly. He wants to have his say. He's not going to do any more media at the moment.
Yeah.
That was his decision, just to sit down with these guys and speak to them. He chose to do it, and he said he gave everything he could for the club, and it means a lot to him, as you can imagine. I've got a lot of respect for him for sitting down and actually doing that. I think it emphasises, like you were saying, Gabby, the relationship, of course, that he has with the club, because when you've seen other managers go, especially in emotional circumstances like this, you think that perhaps the way that they were pushed out wasn't very acrimonious. So in this sense, he's obviously understood, look, I've given everything I can, I've taken the club as far as I can, and they've parted in such a way that he feels that he can sit down and do this. And I suppose he's been given as much respect as you can in that circumstance. I
think the way he's left as well opens the door to come back as a fan. If he's sitting at Old Trafford sitting next to Sir Alex watching a game in a year's time, he's earned that respect. He's come to the club, done his job, but he can't take them to the next level. He hasn't got that.
Now,
he hasn't got even the authority on players. Is the biggest thing for me. Like, you see Klopp, Pep on the touchline screaming at players. They'll drop big players who are not playing well. You look at Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Fernandes hasn't played well in how many games? He's starting every game. You just don't see that he's got that authority to make big decisions.
It's a gift really for the papers this morning, these kind of news stories, and Ole actually speaking, so you've got a lot to go on. How are they covering it, Sammy?
Yeah, just some of the headlines on Solskjær. Jason Burt in the Telegraph says this goes beyond a manager. United are on their knees. Of all the crises that have gripped Old Trafford since Ferguson retired, this feels like the most desperate. James Ducker says in the Telegraph, players lost all faith in manager to leave legend as a lame duck. Martin Samuel in the Mail says no strategy, no plan, just another roll of the dice. Ole's looked doomed for months, yet United are still somehow caught cold. And just one more on Solskjær. This is in the Mirror, a soulless club. Ole was always an interim manager, a novice when they needed a heavyweight. It's amateur hour at United, where making money means more than quality football. It's no wonder bosses are not banging down the door. So there's some good pieces on Solskjær. But another man that features across most of the back pages is Mauricio Pochettino. The headline on the back of the Mail is "Come and get me." PSG boss Pochettino wants United job now. Chris Wheeler and Sammy Motbell, they say this morning in the Mail, Mauricio Pochettino is ready to answer Man United's call if they want him to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Sportsmail can reveal that Pochettino would be prepared to quit Paris Saint-Germain and return to the Premier League. It's understood that Pochettino is prepared to leave PSG now because he is unhappy in the French capital. Gabby, Solskjær is gone. Would Mauricio Pochettino be a good appointment for Manchester United?
I think the managers that are out there, he's probably the best one. I keep hearing Zidane, but I just don't see it happening. I can't see him wanting for the start to come to Manchester United and manage them, and I don't see working with that group of players. I mean, the big thing for me with Manchester United, Sam, is when I watched them play against Watford. When I played against Manchester United teams, you were sitting on the halfway line, scared to press them. Yeah, fear them. No one fears Manchester United. Watford are pressing them high up the pitch, and they're not scared of Manchester United. And you look at the team that started against Watford, Rashford on the left, Sancho, Fernandes behind Ronaldo. The players have got to take a lot of the criticism because even if Ole Gunnar Solskjær doesn't help them tactically, they can still go and play your own game. And look at them, they've done nothing against Watford.
David De Gea's post-match interview caused a bit of a stir as well, because he was saying, look, our players don't know what to do on the ball. Essentially, I didn't know whether or not, when I heard that, I was kind of a bit torn, because you want players to come out and be honest, and that's all we've been asking is be human and say what you see. Stop giving us these stock answers. And then he's given them, and then you were like, oh, maybe not that one. That was a bit too revealing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it makes sense, because they're all international players. If your manager hasn't given you no tactics, you're good enough. You played that many games to do it yourself. I've played it under managers that tactically didn't really give you anything, but you had a good bunch of players that you just go and play your own game, and you put a performance in, you try your hardest. That group of 11 players threw him under the bus. I mean, even Ronaldo, he didn't do anything in the game. Fernandes, after the game, he's telling the crowd to boo the players, not the manager, but he's not doing anything, but he's guaranteed to play next game. Jesse Lingard, what does he need? 15 injuries to get a start.
Van der Beek.
Van der Beek comes on as like a panic, and then he goes and does well. Like, these Manchester United players, especially the ones that aren't getting games, are probably thinking, why matter? What do I have to do, Lingard, to get a game? Like, a bigger manager would have dropped Fernandes, would have put Ronaldo out and played some other players.
So then, just going back to Poch though, guys, I mean, he did very well at Tottenham. He got them into the top 4, took them so close to winning the Champions League in the league. They played free-flowing attacking football. We improved players. He was good at promoting youth. It feels as if the Man United way, it feels like he'd be the right fit for me, guys.
And just had a message, Mark, the Arsenal fan, says, if Ole is finally gone, why is Arteta still in the job? I imagine it's because before yesterday, whenever they played Liverpool, they were 10 games unbeaten. They were 2 points behind Liverpool, and they're now sitting 5th, just behind West Ham, Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea. So I imagine that's probably why Mikel Arteta is still in the job. 81089 at TS Breakfast if you want to get in touch. Where do Manchester United go next? If they're looking for an interim manager, for me, it's stop doing this. You've had enough time. You've had enough time to figure out who you're going to bring in. If you weren't already doing that and giving Ole more time, what were you doing? It's not time for another interim manager. This is Manchester United.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.